Hello! Today we're going to talk about linear transformations. Well, we already know linear means line. It'd be helpful to know what a transformation is. So in math, a transformation is a change in position or size of a figure. So we're going to focus on two types of transformations, translations and rotations. So when we say translate, we mean slide. So when we talk about translations, we got two types of translations, vertical translations and horizontal. Vertical, meaning up or down. Oop, helps if I add that in, huh? Up or down. So for a line, you're going to have a vertical, an up or down translation, a slide, if you have f of x equals mx plus b, and the b changes. Okay, you'll have a horizontal slide, and that'll be left or right. But here's the important thing. It's going to do the opposite of what you expect. So for example, for the vertical ones, if I start off with just y equals x, and then I add 1, I'm going to go up 1. But here, it's got to be grouped with the x. So notice that number, for a horizontal slide, that number is grouped with x. If it's a negative number, it's going to go right. If it's a positive number, it's going to go left, which we'll see in our example right here. So we're starting off with the parent function. So f of x equals x, which would be the same as y equals x. Remember that f of x is the same as y. Okay, so comparing to this original one, if we have f of x equals x plus 3, notice we added 3 to it. Well, that's going to be vertical because our b is changing. Since it's a positive, we're going to shift up. So it is a shift up. That's vertical. And it'd be good to know by how much. Well, it's by 3. So we shifted up 3. Okay, on the second one, notice that we have f of x plus 2. So I replaced x with x plus 2. So this time, we're going to, since the number is grouped with x, we got to shift left or right. But it's the opposite of what we expect. So we think of positive numbers going right, but we're going to go the opposite. So this is going to shift left. Alright, so that's horizontal. And since that's plus 2, it's going to shift by 2. Let's move on to rotation. Okay, our other type of transformation is rotation. When I say rotation, I mean turn. So if our linear equation is in the setup, in the format f of x equals mx plus b, so remember that's slope-intercept format, we're going to see a rotation if m changes. And remember, m is slope. So if m changes, that will change the steepness of the line. And when you try to figure out if it's getting more steep or less steep, ask yourself, what did you multiply m by? So if you multiplied m by a number bigger than 1, you're going to get a steeper line, and that's a vertical stretch. So think of stretching in the morning. That makes you nice and long. That's for the big numbers. If you multiply m by a number between 0 and 1, the result is something that's less steep, and that's going to be a vertical compression. So here's what I mean. Here's an example. Let's start with a parent function of f of x equals x. Okay? Remember that x really has a slope of 1. That's really 1x. Well, to get to f of x equals 3x, I multiplied by 3. 3 is greater than 1. So that means I'm going to end up with a line that's steeper. So that means we have a vertical stretch, and it's going to be, again, since I multiplied by 3, it's a vertical stretch of 3. All right, on our second example, to go from 1x to 1/4 x, we multiplied by 1/4. 1/4 is between 0 and 1. So we're going to end up with something that's less steep. That means we're going to get a vertical compression. And specifically, since we took 1 and multiplied by 1/4, we're going to have a vertical compression of 1/4. All right, we got some practice to do. Let me know if you have questions.